All right, these rocket launchers are made from PVC pipe, and they form a rectangular air chamber, and they have their own launch controller and launch tube and sprinkler valve to launch the rockets off. You can see this one has a quick disconnect, but normally this would have a bicycle pump valve stem, so you can plug in any bicycle pump to it to compress the chamber. So to get started, you can pop out the launch tube and screw it onto here. If I can do this one-handed. You don't have to get it very tight, just kind of hand tight. And then pop out the launch controller and plug it in to the attachment here, to the sprinkler valve. Alright, now that we're plugged into the sprinkler valve with our launch controller, just remember that safety is the most important thing, so always treat this like it is loaded. You never want to look directly down that, even if it's not connected to anything. You just you want to be careful because it's just air that comes out, but if there's a rocket on there or whatever, just never look directly down the barrel. Just like a gun, just consider it always loaded, even whenever you know that it's not. So you have the launch controller here. You can see that you have to flip, toggle, and then press. So hopefully it's self-explanatory, but you have to flip up this cover, toggle the armor switch on, and then you can press this red button and you can hear the solenoid click. So that's the solenoid here, and that's what will actually release the air pressure. So you want to make sure before the kid starts or before the kid goes out to the rocket launcher, after they've built their rocket, make sure that the arm switch is closed. So, or in this case, it's an open switch, but make sure that it's down like that so they, even if they press this, you can see the solenoid doesn't click at all. So make sure that is safe. Make sure they have their goggles on, then they can go out and put their rocket on the launch tube. Then they can start pumping up the air pressure with a bike pump or an air compressor or something. But we want to go around 30 psi. They don't need to go any higher than that. The rockets don't go much higher at a higher air pressure, and we want to keep it around 30 psi. That's a very safe pressure for these launchers. Don't go any higher than that. So after they've pumped up the system, have them step back. The cords are about 10 feet long, so have them step back to the end. You can tell them to flip this, and then you can do a countdown and like 3, 2, 1 or whatever. And the kids really love just smashing this button and watching the rocket fly. So that is how you operate this. Now, what if you start trying to press the button and you've pressurized the system, but the rocket just doesn't move? That might mean that the batteries inside here are empty. They should be okay for a while, but in case that happens, first thing first, you want to take the rocket off the launcher. You want to make sure that this is pointed away from people, and then you can release the valve, release the air pressure by twisting this a quarter of a turn. So you'll want to twist it counterclockwise, and that will release the air pressure. So it's kind of hard to twist, but then, so you do that, and then it goes, and then pressure is released from the system, and you're okay to like take this off. You don't want to just leave this pressurized, because then it could unsuspectingly surprise someone. So you can disconnect this here, and you can see there's a line around here because this is two separate halves. So you can just wiggle this off, and you can see the batteries. So now that I took the shell off here, you can see here are the batteries. And it's kind of a mess in here, I know, but you've got 3 9-volt batteries, and they're all wired in series, so you get about 27 volts to trigger the solenoid. But you can just pop these out, they're not held in by anything, and then you can take the 9-volt battery clips off and replace all 3 with fresh batteries. Don't ever replace just a single battery, replace all 3 with fresh batteries. And then after you're done, you can take the lid and make sure that the cord doesn't get snagged. There's a hole for the cord up here, so it kind of sits in a slot. You can see it maybe a little bit better on this one. But make sure that that is in the right spot, and then close this up, and it just goes on with a friction fit, so you don't need any tools or anything to change the batteries. So, most important takeaways: always treat this like it's pressurized, never look directly down the barrel, wear your safety goggles anytime you're around it. If the batteries go dead, you can replace them by first making sure that this is released, and once you twist it about a quarter turn, it should let the air out. And so if anything, you can take this all the way off, and then that will make sure that the pressure's out of the system. Then you can replace the batteries and plug it back in and get going. So thanks for watching.